If you keep up with us, I'm sure you've seen we are opening a cafe in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I realized I really haven't talked that much about it, so I figured I'd give you a little rundown of everything that's happened so far and where we're at in the process. So when I first saw this space, it's very close to our house. I saw a beautiful building going up with a little retail for lease sign, and I figured I'd reach out. It was kind of as a joke, not really a joke, but I just thought in my mind there was no way we could afford this, and here we are. We're in that space. It's beautiful. I very much so believe in the location, the community here, and am so excited to be closer to home. Now, the building itself is gonna have, I think, 72 apartments up top. There'll be a Pilates studio on one end, we will be on the other end, and the leasing office will be in the middle. It is 2 miles from the stadium for the University of Michigan and a little more towards the suburbs in kind of a walkable neighborhood, which I'm really, really excited about. Now, through this process, I feel like we went 0 to 100 super just like overnight. So the building itself was going up and under construction, and that took longer than anticipated, which was kind of anticipated, but the landlords had their own builders in there building out the space, and they white boxed it for us. So it was drywalled, bare bones, one outlet, but to send it to us in like a finished manner. Did have the bathrooms already done. Since it's an apartment, we're going to be sharing bathrooms with the lobby, which was a huge bonus. And just yesterday, our builders went in the space and started doing everything to our specs. So from that, now it's gone from just kind of like waiting, and every month when people say, oh, how's it going? You're like, the same, like it's still there, it's still being built, to now I feel like every single day I have something to do and look forward to, and that's really exciting, and I think it's actually gonna go super fast. We are aiming for an August open date, just before the students come back to campus. Originally, we were aiming for like April, so things definitely got pushed. It has given me time to prepare, get a little more financially ready with expectations, slowly start getting equipment, and get all my ducks in a row. So I'll plop some inspo photos here. Brian and I designed the space ourselves and had an architect make everything to spec so we could send it over to the health department. I think I've mentioned before, this space was more expensive than any of the other spaces we had looked at. So at first that made me a little nervous, but truly the location is what drew me to this building. It's an area that I think could really benefit from a community space, a cafe, and something I think we've already received some positive response from people in like the neighborhood. The fact that we're in an apartment building and next to a Pilates studio is also, for obvious reasons, a bonus. It's something that when we lived in Texas, there were a lot of cafes in the bottom of apartments. So it's pretty familiar to us. There's a lot of ways you can kind of like incorporate people who live there into your daily routine. And with the Pilates studio, of course, we're excited to do collaborations. I'm excited to meet everybody that goes in there. You've got those early morning classes or weekends where friends go together and want to grab a coffee after. So being walkable, I just think there can be like a relationship there that's really just wonderful. So today on my agenda, I am still running the catering side of things. That's not gonna go away. That's still our bread and butter. The camper we did sell, but I've got a lot of inquiries to respond to. Need to really get my schedule together for the next few months. A lot of weddings, grad parties, things like that. So want to get that all locked down, make sure I've got all the supplies that I need for those. I need to go to the bank, get a check for the contractor. I'm gonna drop that off to him. This is when payments start and things like that get real, so sweating a little bit, but I'm gonna do that. I'll show you the space. It's actually crazy how much they've done in one day. This is the space so far. Our contractors are 2 days in and they've already gotten this far, which is absolutely crazy, but we'll do a mini tour of how it is now. So I'm gonna have Brian give a walkthrough of the cafe space. I'll be manning the camera, but you know, there's street parking, can walk right in. We have a second entrance over here, and then the cafe area. So he's gonna share the vision.
Okay, so you're gonna walk in this door. We technically have 2 doors. We have this door and the one behind you over there. So you're gonna walk in, and this is basically gonna be like a high top counter seating area, so you can like do work. And then to actually order your coffee, you're gonna go over here, We're gonna have tables along here. Walk up, order your coffee here. The espresso machine is basically gonna be right here. I think that's what these things say. And then you're gonna pick up your coffee here. So all of this stuff that you see is gonna be countertop all the way around, and then cabinet and storage all the way around as well. Okay, so all that stuff's over there. More of the back of house stuff is gonna be around this corner. Again, everything that's framed right now is all gonna be obviously like drywall, so you can't see through. So from in here, this is basically gonna be fridges and storage, and then on this side we're gonna have like a 3-basin sink, and then through here, we basically built this as like a separate room, just so that all of this wasn't exposed to like customers. On the other side of the storage wall, this is gonna be merch, so the merch wall's on that side. And then when you come in over here, it's gonna be all, like I said, countertops and cabinets in here. You can kind of visualize where you're gonna be able to kind of be, because this like rectangle in the ceiling is all gonna be LED lights, and then just a little bit over is where the cabinet starts. So basically like where this wall is, cabinets all the way along. And then yeah, bar seating is gonna be here. So technically it's supposed to have like 2 or 3 spots, but once you like visualize the space in person, it feels a lot different. So like even we were supposed to have a wall, like they call it a knee wall, but basically it's like a half height wall right here. I guess I'll go over there and actually like show it. So we were supposed to have a half height wall, basically right here. It's just like kind of separated like the line from the seating area, and then we were gonna have 2 tables here. But now that we're like in person, it almost feels like there's not enough room, depending on like how wide this line will be. I mean, I guess if you put it like right here. But yeah, once you're actually like in this space, it feels a lot different. So this is the only stuff that's like set in stone, actually being built and permanently attached.
In our original plans, we had like a built-in bench here. I'm not 100% sure how that's gonna work because the space actually feels bigger in person.
This whole thing.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
Like up to here, this is a huge bench.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like that.
Then we're gonna have maybe like a little seat here or just like a dish bin type situation. We're gonna have 2 tables coming out this way, some smaller tables centered. And then along here is going to be like a bar, kind of like overlooking the outside with a couple seats. And then we might try to do some like softer seating in here, or I thought back there, but this is again kind of closer to the door than we'd visualized, but
it's also super echoey here. So hopefully that goes away as we start to add.
And it's so pretty with all the windows.
Another thing that you don't think about with like shop or like spaces like this is window treatment. So like we don't have any right now. We have a ton of windows. So things like the temperature could get really hot, the sun can be really bright.
That's gonna have to come at a later time because we do not have the budget.
Yeah, we have no money. So you know, give and take, but
how's it look behind the bar?
You look good. Looks like you could be serving coffee. Oh, and then also on the ground, right? Oh yeah, there we go. Oh wow, look at the beautiful coffee you just made. On the ground right here, and then also over here, we're gonna embed the word howdy on the ground because our whole brand is kind of like Southern hospitality to the Midwest. So it's gonna say howdy on the ground here, and then over there as well, just like embedded in the concrete.
One step closer. Today's task was to pick cabinetry and countertops. The countertops we felt good about. In terms of cabinetry, in all of our designs and plans, they were going to be green. Unfortunately, every green except for one like super neon has an 8 to 10 week delay, and that would just push back the rest of the contractors, our inspection, all of our work, and we're really not looking to delay the project, obviously. So it's back to the drawing board on what color we feel will still blend with the brand. I think we're leaning towards kind of like a neutral tan, and then we're just gonna hope that all of the accents we put in with the decorations and the furniture can kind of bring out that green element. But just a small bump in the road, we feel it's better to just pick a different color and hope for the best than to delay the whole project. So we shall see. So this is looking like the only green that's in stock, and it's just like obviously brighter than what we were going for. So I feel like we might just pivot. That's kind of where we are now with the build process. Still doing events as everything's going, feeling really good, feeling pretty centered so far and hoping to stay that way. So thanks for being here as we grow. Super exciting as always. And let us know if you have questions or you're going through something similar. We love connecting with fellow coffee lovers. Cheers.